Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. And yes, your bartender is a bit inebriated. Uh, Came back from the Poconos to New York City today, mid afternoon. Decided to go down to our local pub shortly after 6 for, pub grub. And I conversed with my usual daytime bartender, and our occasional evening bartender was there, and she likes the Tenkars. She brought us back really, really fucking well. Suffice to say that on a scale of 1 to something, I am certainly something. I would not be safe to drive. Let's just start that way. Don't ask me about Rach. Rach drank less than I. Probably best. But she is certainly a co-enabler. That's that like talk that like those social workers use or some shit like that. Right, Rach?
What did you call me?
Co-enabler.
I don't know.
Isn't it like a social work like title or name
Chief
or
enabler is like the person that usually that you're married to that like cleans up after the alcoholics or the addicts.
no, but you joined me. So that you weren't fucking cleaning up.
Okay. So you're saying, wait, your side of the street ain't clean.
No. Your side of the street is extremely clean. It's just that you walked on my side of the street.
You know, help each other along.
Yes, because where's the fun in drinking alone, right?
Yeah.
Wink, wink. In any case, listen, we both had a very nice time with adult beverages and did not get into trouble that we know of. Sorry, actually, I just whacked my cat in the head because she's so happy that Daddy's home. In any case, we have an email from Evil Jeff. So we'll go to the Evil Jeff email and then we'll see what kind of trouble I can get into afterwards. I'm sure the trouble I can get into on my own is sizable, but who the fuck knows? All right, Evil Jeff, take it away.
Tenkar, it's Evil Jeff. Wow, 2 podcasts in a row, and there's logic flowing through a fantasy realm. I gotta love it. Love that. Um, I agree with you about the weather. Gotta be careful, otherwise you're gonna kill your party and your campaign. But going on to the education there, in a fantasy realm, I'm going to side with the parent's occupation. Some of these occupations, they need to be able to read. I would say a tavern owner possibly would be one, merchants and so forth with numbers. And if they have kids, they're teaching their kids that stuff. Some of that stuff has got to be learned in there because somebody's got to take over later on. So I say parents are teaching them, but it's going to have to be more or less social standing probably. All right, later.
Well, thank you, Evil Jeff. Yes, weather can be much more dangerous than we give it credit for often in our fantasy games, and it can be a huge party fuck. Try to avoid having weather being a huge party fuck. You will never hear the end of it. You will be forever suffering and labeled as a GM that fucked over a party due to some random blizzard, tornado, typhoon, hurricane, whatever. Trust me, you don't want the label. As for education, yes, certainly occupation has something to do with it. And, the general store keeper or general store owner will probably pass on some basic literacy and some basic math skills to their children. But to expect the average farmer, the average laborer, to have skills much beyond signing an X for their name is probably not going to be there. And we forget that. We forget that as GMs. We forget that as players. We expect an education cognate, some kind of parallel education system to what we have here in the modern day real world. And it doesn't exist in most fantasy games, in most fantasy campaigns. It might exist in some. Again, I'm not saying that somebody's not going to pull and go, well, if you look at cards, if you looked at the tables for literacy, you know what? I haven't broken open cards in forever, nor the Thieves World setting, or any of the other classic settings that folks hold up and say, these are the most awesome settings. Yes, the possibility is there. No, it is not common. Settings that build literacy into the setting and have an explanation for it are not common. As players, as GMs, we build that into the settings ourselves based upon our expectations. So all I'm saying is think about it. Give it some thought. Now, should I talk about intoxication in gaming? Maybe, but probably not tonight because I'm probably half in the box. And if you're half in the box, you're probably not the one to talk about intoxication in gaming, right? However, I will talk about briefly drinking at the gaming table. And it depends very sincerely on the group that you're running. I find that as a GM, and with most groups and most types of campaigns, I cannot drink and run a game coherently. 2 beers, I'm fucking confused as all shit. If I'm playing as a player, as long as you, as a fellow player or a GM, can excuse the fact that I'm going to probably be goofy, silly as shit, but I think hilarious. Probably not, but if you can handle that, I do occasionally like to drink as a player. I just can't. I cannot run a coherent enough game, generally speaking, as a GM or DM that drinks. Full honesty there. So, how do you handle your not drinking in game, as in your players going to the local tavern and having a few, but how do you handle your players drinking? How do you handle yourself as a GM drinking? How do you handle as a player when your GM is half in the box? I've played with GMs that are half in the box at conventions, and some do an amazingly good job. Some, I don't know. I personally think that as a GM, I would probably fall into the I don't know category. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on this and your experiences because this is something that affects us as adult gamers. So, on that note, I am going to bid thee adieu for the night. Put my head down on my comfy pillow with the AC going next to my lovely wife on my own bed. Not saying I'm not complaining about the bed in the Poconos, but I certainly do prefer my own bed. There's something just magical about your own bed, and I'm gonna go to fucking sleep. Sorry, my ass is beat. It is what it is. I am, however, going to throw a short piece on the end of this where you can hear me fuck up. Because there's nothing better than hearing an honest to God fuck up. So I'm not going to call it a blooper reel. It's only one. I don't normally keep these. But fuck it. It's short. I'll tack it on the end. As always, folks, stay safe, be well, God bless. And I will talk with you all tomorrow. And Rach will talk with Donka tomorrow, too.
Believe it.
as she's telling the dog to leave whatever she's destroying right now in the background. All right, folks. Later, ladies. Hello and welcome to the Fa. Jesus Christ.